Chapter 14, Twice in One Night? Kyon's first-person point of view. The library loomed before us, its windows dark except for the soft glow coming from Kadir's office. Strange how I'd left here in a panic just hours ago, and now I was returning with two flux users who just saved my life. The night felt like it had stretched into a week. Lawrence hung back as Sia led the way to the side entrance. His casual stride betrayed nothing of the lethal power I'd witnessed earlier. The memory of that vampire turning to ash still burned in my mind. "Are you sure about this?" I asked Sia quietly. "Coming back here?" She glanced over her shoulder. "Kadir's office is probably the safest place in the city right now. Trust me." The door creaked open before we reached it. Kadir stood there, that familiar enigmatic smile on his face. "Twice in one night. What are the odds?" He chuckled, but his eyes were sharp as they moved from me to Lawrence. "You know each other?" I asked, looking between them. "Everyone knows Lawrence," Kadir said, stepping aside to let us in. "Though not everyone survives the experience of meeting him." Lawrence snorted. "You're going to scare the kid, old man." "The kid just saw a vampire turn to ash," Kadir replied dryly. "I doubt I could scare him more than that." The office felt smaller with 4 people in it. Books were still scattered across Kadir's desk from earlier, and the lamp cast long shadows across the walls. I noticed Lawrence examining the texts with interest. "Sanskrit?" he asked, picking up one of the volumes. Kadir nodded. "Ancient treatises on power. Quite fascinating, actually." "So," I interrupted, trying to keep my voice steady, "is anyone going to explain what's going on?" Sia perched on the edge of Kadir's desk, while Lawrence leaned against a bookshelf, arms crossed. They exchanged glances. "You're an anomaly, Kyon," Lawrence said finally. "And anomalies tend to attract attention. Not all of it good." "The vampire," I said. "She mentioned someone named Elijah." "Elijah Gerard," Lawrence's voice hardened. "Leader of the Sacré-Cœur. He's particular about his territory. And I just became part of it," I finished. "You were already part of it," Kadir interjected, shuffling through some papers. "You just became interesting to him. There's a difference." He paused, his expression growing distant. "And not just to him. There are others who maintain the balance of things. Ancient ones who take notice when something disrupts the natural order." "What's that supposed to mean?" I demanded. A chill ran down my spine at his tone. Sia shot him a warning look, but Kadir merely shrugged and returned to his papers. "It means, dear boy, that you've drawn the attention of powers far older than vampires." "Kadir," Sia warned. "Not now." "He needs to know what he's facing," Kadir replied without looking up. Sia leaned forward. "Kyon, what Lawrence did tonight, the flux he used, that's what you could learn to do. But you'd need training." "And you think you can teach me?" I asked Lawrence. He smiled, but it wasn't entirely friendly. "I've killed 56 vampires. Trained dozens of flux users. But you?" He shook his head. "You're something new. It won't be easy, but I'm curious to see what happens." "That's not exactly reassuring," I muttered. "It's not meant to be," Sia said. "But he's the best chance you have." "There are other options," Kadir said softly, earning sharp looks from both Sia and Lawrence. "Not good ones," Lawrence cut in. "Not if he wants to survive." Kadir cleared his throat. "The world is changing, Kyon. Old powers are stirring. Sometimes even those who prefer to remain detached must act." His eyes met mine meaningfully before returning to his books. I looked around the room, at Kadir's knowing smile, Sia's concerned face, Lawrence's calculating gaze. Just hours ago, my biggest worry had been ancient texts and research papers. Now, "When do we start?" I asked. Lawrence straightened. "Tomorrow. Dawn. Meet me at the old foundry on 8th Street. He moved toward the door, then paused. "And Kyon? Don't be late. I hate waiting." "You're sure about this?" Sia asked him. "No," Lawrence replied honestly. "But we're out of options." As he left, Sia stood too. "I should go. But..." She hesitated. "Be careful tonight. They might try again." After she followed Lawrence out, I turned to Kadir. "You knew about all of this?" He was already buried in his books again. "I know many things, Kyon. The trick is knowing when to share them." He glanced up, eyes twinkling. "Get some rest." Lawrence doesn't believe in gentle first lessons. I left the library with more questions than answers, but one thing was clear: my life had irrevocably changed. Tomorrow, I'd begin learning to control whatever this power was inside me. Tonight, though. Tonight I just had to survive.